Hello everyone, this is Patrick from Harco & Co. Today I want to talk for 1 or 2 minutes about putting a dog on leash. We're talking a lot these days about force feed training and fair play with the dog, which is super important. And as you know, at Harco & Co, that's the way how we work. But we have also to keep in mind that actually when we put a dog on a leash, we are already restraining the dog, and that's why for me it's super important that actually when we do this, or when we put a collar around him or her, or when we actually put the leash on, that this is actually becoming quite comfortable for the dog. So Haku, I'm going to show this to you with Haku. So I'm going to show him the collar, I'm going to give him a treat, and then I'm just going to put the collar around him, and I'm going to do the same when I put the leash on. And yeah, I'm doing this fine. So I'm showing him the leash, I'm giving him the treat, and then I'm going to put him on the collar. And this works basically also very well in your favor if you actually call the dog back outside, because putting on the leash is always connected to something positive, which in this case is simply a treat reward. But believe me, by experience, it makes your life so much easier, rather than just, putting on the leash and putting on the collar, when you get in really tricky situations where you want the dog to come to you and the dog knows, that it's going to be put on the leash.